Okay, now that the pants are pretty much done, I didn't really do anything much to them. Uh, it's time to do the eyes. I've gotten a couple of requests from people asking me to go ahead and do it, and so I'm going to go ahead. I do eyes a little bit different than most people, so let's get started. One of the questions I get asked the most about eyes is what do I use for the whites in my eyes. Well, basically I use Tester's Gray Primer. It's the acrylic gray primer. I've been using this pretty much ever since I came across it. So basically what you do is you just get a little bit on your brush, and you really, when you do eyes, you want to make sure you're using a very pointy brush. And I'm going to try to do this so the camera can see. But when I usually do them, I usually do eyes. I usually hold the kit in various directions. Okay. Don't worry if you get out of line sometimes, like I just did. Just got a little bit on the face, just a little bit. Alright, there we go. Because you can wipe it away with a cotton swab. I don't go very dark with the whites in my eyes. I try to kind of thin it down a little bit. Alright, there's the whites in the eyes. Hopefully the video can see. Okay, now that we have our whites in our eyes, normally I would take a mechanical pencil and I would draw in the iris, but my mechanical pencil is out of lead, so I'm going to have to try and draw it in by the paintbrush. So you get a little bit of black, very little bit, on your paintbrush, and you just lightly just go in like so, and just kind of do like a little half circle like that. And if you see, it's kind of hard to see. Try to that's pretty much it. It's not coming up too good on the camera, but that's pretty much it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in where I missed. So all I did was just draw. I will admit, I am not the best at painting eyes. Sometimes I have to have a couple tries at it. It's always good to dull coat your piece, as always. But really, it's always good to make sure your piece is dull coated. That way, in case you do have to start over, all you can do is just take a little bit of thinner and just erase where you basically messed up at. Okay, there. That looks pretty good. I'm not sure if the camera can pick up, but see, that's just the iris. Now we're going to go add the color in. Now, after looking at several photos of Han Solo, appears that Harrison Ford has brownish green eyes, kind of like a, I guess you could say, a hazel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and replicate that as best as possible. Like I said, I am not the best at painting eyes, but like I said, I can do it. But one thing about painting eyes is that is the one thing that can make or break your paint job. So you want to try and get it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of burnt umber and just filling in the iris. Just filling in the iris where and leaving a little bit of black along the edge, just a little bit. Let's see if you can tell. I don't have the best camera, but that's basically kind of what you want. Normally, normally I would also go in and I would, add the pink rim at the bottom and everything, but the eyes on this particular kit is so small. I mean, it's almost like they're non-existent. So I'm not going to really worry about that. I'm just going to do it as best as I can. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to add just a little bit of green, just a little bit, but I'm going to do it very, very subtle. So I'm almost going to dry brush the green in, but I want the brown to still kind of shine through. Okay, so what you do is you take very little green on your brush and just lightly go in. You don't want to cover the whole eye. You just want to lightly go in about it. I'm going to do it just a little bit more. There we go. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to see what I've done, but there's the eyes. Okay. Now the next step is basically just to add a pupil. Sometimes adding the pupil, believe it or not, can be harder than it sounds, because sometimes your pupil might not be right in the middle. You might be a little bit off, might not be as perfect of a circle, but really you just want to just add. Another thing that I like to do when painting eyes is, if you notice his mouth, sometimes I take my finger and I will rest it on the chin and the mouth area, and I will use that as a brace to steady my hand. There we go, just a little dot. Perfect. And that's pretty much it, painting eyes. Another thing is you want to add the rim for the eyebrows. Not eyebrows, but the eyelashes. This kit really, I don't know why I keep calling this a kit. This pre-painted statue did not really have that there, but I will add it. It's not. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to go in with just a little bit of brown, just enough, like that. You kind of want it to taper at the bottom. You don't want to do it too dark though, because then it will look like he's wearing makeup, and you don't want Harrison Ford to look like he's wearing makeup. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the eyes. Not too hard. I'm going to try to get a better shot. Like I said, this is not the best cam for really detailing it out, for seeing good detail work, but that is pretty much it. Hopefully you'll be able to pick it up. That's about as best a shot as I'm not going to get. But that's pretty much it. Okay, I believe that's all the time I have for this. We will continue with part 10, and I believe part 10 will be the final. Actually, I'm pretty sure part 10 is going to be the final installment. We're going to do the teeth and lips, and I will show you about gloss coating the eyes. I gloss coat the eyes at the last thing. That is the absolute last thing I always do. So, this is Painter for Hire 1975 with you. If you have any questions or comments, get with me. You guys have a good one.